name is Mabel. Welcome me back to the Profiles of Faith, our segment where we are talking about our personal testimonies. Why personal testimony? Why talking about your personal things on TV? I'm glad you asked. You cannot afford to keep quiet when God is working in your life, when you have received Him as your personal Lord and Savior, and He has done an overhaul in your life, and you can see that without Him, I wouldn't be where I am now. I hear His words in Matthew 6. When we read from verse 25 through 34, He's telling us about the cure of care. Right now, in the times we are in, we have got so many things going on. The world is hurting. People, they go without jobs, without food. But here Jesus is telling us that the first thing we need is to seek His kingdom and all its righteousness. And all these things we are after will be added on. I am so glad today that we have Didel, who is going to tell us her personal testimony in regards to seeking this kingdom first and all the things that she has experienced when she decided to make Jesus Christ as her Lord and Savior. Thank you so much for coming today, Didel. It's my pleasure to have you on Profiles of Faith.
Thank you so much, Mabel. And this is really a blessing for me, like to tell about what God has done for me, and He's still doing things for me. And this is really just thanks God. And I'll just start a little bit talk about myself, how I met Jesus. I was raised by my stepmother, and when my stepmother received Jesus as a senior server, we have this evening meeting, like prayer meeting, like every family usually have. And in the prayer meeting, she talked to us personally, and she said that at that age, at that time I was 13 years old, and she taught us, and she said that you are already 13 years old, so you know what is good and what is bad. Right. If you don't receive Jesus as a personal Savior or Senior, you'll be going to hell. So at that age, I was really scared when she talked to me about that one. So, and I just decided to read about Revelation, because Revelation talk a little bit how it will be the end of the world. So I read it. I got I got scared, just scared. I said, okay. I decided at that moment, I said, if it's to accept Jesus as a personal Savior and Senior, and to not go to hell, I rather to accept Him.
Let me accept
so
Jesus.
Yes, I called my stepmother, and my stepmother called the pastor, and the pastor accepted to get baptized. So I got baptized at 13 years old. Wow. So this one was a beginning, just a start, a beginning of a new relationship with Jesus. So I'm here to testify what God has done for me and still doing for me.
Amen.
I was working for 5 years. 5 years is really a big gap compared to the job market.
Yes.
And for people who get used to look for a job, when you haven't worked for 5 years, forget about it. It's difficult, really difficult to have a job. And at that time, I remember that I had to trust in God. Why? Because I knew that I was helpless.
Yes.
And I remember also my job counselor who was just dressing up my resume, and she said that I don't know how to put your resume because you have 5 years gap. So I don't know how to settle on that one. So, and she was, even her, she was discouraged. She said, oh, but it will be really difficult for you to get a job. And for me, I knew that I trust God. I knew that God was the only one who can change my situation.
Amen.
He was the only one who can change my situation. And when I had, like at that time, really bad thought, bad thought because the devil is there. The devil always attacks us and saying that, okay, you see the situation, it'll be difficult for you and you won't have a job and so on. I said, no, I know that my God is able.
Yes.
And I use two tools. I don't know if we can call it tools, like two tools to help me to fight against the devil.
Yes.
One tool was the worship. Worship.
It's in the word, yes, it's in the word of God.
Yes. I knew that God is able and He deserves my worship, and I will worship Him. I say, you, the devil, you won't have me, because I will worship the one who is able to change my situation.
Hallelujah.
And the other tool that I used, it was Breakthrough Council, prayer council that we have here at Wilma Heights Baptist Church every Wednesday. And it's also an occasion to come together and to pray and to have really your breakthrough in the situation. And I knew that this one, I have to go there and to pray and really pray for this situation. So I use those two tools every time to fight against this, to have my breakthrough for this situation. So one night, because I was still sending the resume for other company, one night I went to the website. There's a lot of websites to look for a job. So I went to one website. I saw a job posting for 6 months. It was a contract. And the job posting was for the first bank here in Canada. Everybody knows who's the first bank in Canada. So I decided to send my resume. The job postings are required to have a mutual fund license. I didn't have it. I said, okay, I don't have it, but I will just put my resume there. They also require an experience in mutual fund that I didn't have. But I'd say, okay, I will just trust in God and put my resume like this. And after 2 weeks, I received an email from that company for a face-to-face interview. I never went through a phone interview. I just went for a face-to-face interview. I went there. The bank was huge, and it was downtown. I said, oh my God. So I went there, do the job interview. And when I came in the room for the face-to-face interview, the interviewer was a man, and he said that he doesn't know why he picked up my resume.
Wow.
But he just asked me to start talking about myself as the process. This is a process when you start looking for, when you do the face-to-face interview. So I start talking about myself. So I have my name and my education, my background, and so on. So I just talking, and after they asked me to wait for the answer as usual, and I got the answer. I was waiting for the answer because they told me they will give the answer 2 weeks after. So 2 weeks came, I didn't get the answer. Actually, I didn't get no answer. I said, oh, if it's yes, they will tell you. If it's no, they will tell you. Right. So I wrote back. I said that, oh, I didn't have something back for you. So what's the decision? And they said, oh, but I thought that I already sent you the email. You got hired for this position.
Oh my God.
I said, oh my God.
So they gave you the job.
Yeah, they gave me the job without the license, without.
That is God.
And for having worked for 5 years, that because they saw my resume that I didn't work for. They ever asked me why you didn't work for 5 years, and I gave the reason as personal decision.
So there you are.
Yeah, and I got the job. I got the job. I say, oh, my God, it's amazing. It's just amazing. When you are really helpless and you believe that, okay, you don't have a breakthrough, you have nobody, and maybe you won't have like opened up, but just.
He can open doors.
Yes.
He did.
Yes, he did. And this was just a beginning.
Thank you so much, Fidel.
Yes.
Now we can see God, working in your life.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Wow. This is the God we are testifying. The God who opened doors. When your doors are closed, He can come and open doors for you when you believe. And the devil here She didn't even tell you. With her experience, a PhD degree, she couldn't get a job for 5 years. But when she trusted in God, God opened that door for her. And right now, the sky is the limit for Didel. We thank you so much for watching, tuning to our program here at www.wilmaheights.ca, and stay tuned for more testimonies. We trust God that if you keep Him, give Him the first place, He will open those doors for you as well. Keep trusting Him. Thank you so much. God bless you.